this up as I go because I was planning on showing you video and we'll figure it out. It'll be great. Okay, so this is entitled, So What is a Multidisciplinary Artist? And this video, or what would have been a video, was me singing at the Moscow Art Theater. And it went a little something like this. A matchbox of our own, a fence of real chain link, a grill out on the patio, disposal in the sink. Yeah, so the whole poem is that I don't sing, and that I find it very terrifying, and I'm waiting. This is like way more than 20 seconds. But I was singing at a reception for the heads of the Moscow Art Theater. Guys, come on, this is like 2 minutes here. Thank Jesus. And I had this light bulb went off in my head, and I realized that I wasn't crazy. And therefore, the subtitle of my presentation is, Dear Dad, I promise I do not have career ADD. So obviously I'm not a singer, but I wanted to start my Pecha Kucha with this because it was the most, it was kind of an essential turning point in my career. So from the time I was a little girl chasing lightning bugs on my grandfather's farm, my parents used to always say I was constantly running. I never wanted to be home. I was always going. And I was a lot like those fireflies. Like being kept in any place for too long made me really claustrophobic, and I just felt it never shined as bright. So I move a lot. And I've always been moving for years and years and years, looking for my next great inspiration, my next great adventure. And I got a lot of raised eyebrows for that, and eventually garnered the title Career ADD. And in 2007, I headed to the Moscow Art Theater, which was an incredible experience, and I learned a lot, including "Дайте, пожалуйста, большой latte с собой," which means, can I have a large latte to go? It was the only sentence I learned how to speak in Russian the entire time I was there for 90 days, but it came in very handy. And I learned a lot. And one day, I heard this, and this light bulb went off, and I was like, no, I don't have career ADD. I'm just a multidisciplinary artist, or a poly artist. Oh, sorry. And I can find this balance if I choose to work in multiple art forms at one time. So this was kind of how I chose to blend my life. And so I started blending these indie films like Nun Meets Leprechaun and Falls in Love, which is the top corner, which is way funnier if you can see it in video, with more classic period theater pieces like The Scarlet Letter and original works. And then in 2000, it says 2006, it's a total lie, I didn't get finished until 2007. But it was this film that I did called The Deserted, and it really changed my life. It was, if you read this, yes, it's a very long story, but maybe I'll tell you about it. Cactus, bad attitude, peeing with no men in the desert, it's hard. But it was this really very serious film that I did, and it was very heart-wrenching, it was very difficult. But it was an incredible experience at the same time, and that launched a portion of my career. And I'm just not even reading the notes because I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. But so while I was in LA, I went out there to be an actor, but I also began producing, and I produced a ton of stuff, like these theater pieces and theatrical happenings and whatever you do when you're artsy and you think you're cool. But I started collaborating with all these other artists, and I found that I got real joy out of that. So I created these events. And when I moved back to Kansas City, I had the opportunity to work on a piece of film for the school that I work at, De La Salle Education Center, that I feel really accomplished my goals of making a difference through art. And we told the story of our students' lives, and we did it in a way that was not exploitive. We care about them a lot, and we allowed them to find their voice. And it was just such an amazing experience. And I had the opportunity to work with these incredible artists right here in Kansas City, which, who knew you could do that the entire time I was trying to make film in LA. So while I was doing this, I've been writing. I write a ton. It keeps me grounded, it keeps me sane. I write books. I'm actually going to Florida in February. I just got a residency to write and finish my book. And it's just going to be amazing. And my blogs, which they're pretty bad. But, so the last day I was in LA before I left for Russia, my boss took me out to lunch and she said to me, what do you expect to gain from this Russia experience? What do you think you're going to get out of it? And I looked at her and I said, I just want to be happy. I've been working my ass off in LA for 5 years and I was pretty successful, but I don't think I understood what happiness was. And now I do. And so these days I want a little bit more than just to be happy. I want to be able to give happiness to other people. So what does that mean? So for me, that means using my art as a way to make the world a better place and finding a way to help other artists make the world a better place. And it starts with the kids. So if we can educate kids, if we can teach kids, if we can find a way to inspire them and let them find their own voices, I mean, they're going to be the next generation of people that make the world a better place, you know? So let's find a way to do that, whether it be through mentoring or tutoring or teaching. For me, it's through art. For other people, it might be something different. And there's a lot of people here who might recognize this picture. Hi, artistic people, you're wonderful. I had an opportunity to be a part of this, and my end goal is to create this center, this place where artists can come together. Artists of different media, commercial artists, independent artists, non-profit, for-profit, it doesn't matter. And I totally hijacked these pictures from Third Eye because I want their space. If anyone knows them, tell them I'm stalking them and I want their space. But it's exactly what I want. A space for performance, a space to foster new artists, a space that can be rented for special events so that we can create a place, an incubator of sorts that allows us to grow and support one another. And so, I'm in Kansas City. I'm here for now. I'm not planning on moving anytime soon, which is new for me. And it's a little different, but it's got its own kind of freedom, the freedom of building roots and staying in a place for a little while. So, thank you guys for putting up with me, and me totally winging this thing. I didn't even look at these crazy notes. I don't even know what I was going to talk about, but that is essentially what a multidisciplinary artist does. Check out the website. So, that's a plug. I didn't mean to.